Hello, it's Robert Miner with Dynamic Traders Group with this week's short video where we take a look at 2 or 3 markets that have the potential for a trade setup this coming week. We're going to look at 3 markets that we review frequently on these YouTube videos. We're going to take a look at gold, the dollar, and Bitcoin. Gold we took a look at more extensively last week, so this is going to be a quick follow-up. And then we're going to also look at the dollar and Bitcoin. If you like what you hear and what you learn in these videos, please, down below, subscribe to this channel so you can be notified whenever we put a new video up. And also go to dynamictraders.com, click on the Traders News tab. You can sign up for that and get more updates during the week absolutely free. So with that said, let's get started and take a look at a potential trade setup for gold in the days ahead. So this is gold daily data. Now you can review last week's video, went into a more extensive analysis of the position of gold, weekly charts, daily charts, and its relationship to the CPI report. Just as a summary from last week is gold was in and continues to be in a position to make a multi-week, if not multi-month high. So great position for a potential short trade that'll last 2 to 3 weeks, if not longer. So here's the daily data, and as of yet, gold has not made a reversal signal. Remember, trading is not about forecasting. It's about identifying conditions with a high probability outcome, and then trade strategies where your initial capital exposure is minimal. So we haven't had that reversal signal yet, or reversal confirmation signal. Let's look at where we're at right now. Is last Wednesday, is gold made what we call a dual look back daily momentum bear reversal. That's a pretty reliable signal that in this case, a daily top is complete, and because we're looking for a weekly reversal, when we have a smaller time frame reversal, it usually coincides with a larger time frame, in this case weekly. So we can look when we've had these dual time frame momentum reversals in the past. We've always had a decline, might only last 5 or 6 days, might last 2 or 3 weeks, like it did back here. But it's quite reliable to indicate that a daily high should be complete. Should be is the key. So then we identify what can the market do to signal that that high is complete and actually initiate a specific trade. Well, at this point in time, a close below 1907 on the February contract would be the initial signal the weekly high is complete. So again, we've identified the market's in a position for a weekly high, but then we want the market to tell us that it's making a reversal. And a close below 1907, that's the setup for a specific go short or bear trade strategy over the next 2 to 3, 4 weeks or so. And by the way, it could be a much higher time frame top once this top is complete. That's not a forecast, that just has to do with the position of this market. So that's gold, a little summary on gold. How about we take a quick look at the dollar? I look at the dollar frequently and see where it's at. This is the dollar weekly data, so I'll keep it real simple with the dollar. The dollar is in a position to complete at least a weekly, if not a monthly low. Last week, the dollar made a momentum cycle low and a bull reversal. So that puts us on alert that a price low should happen within a week or two. So here's the last week in the dollar, the weekly bar, as of last Friday on the 20th. And what we're looking for is the next weekly close above 101.946. Now that was the weekly close 2 weeks ago. A weekly close above that this coming Friday will indicate that the weekly low is complete. And it'd be a great setup in the long side for the dollar, short side for the euro, for at least the following 3 or 4 weeks, more than likely at least. Potential, it's a higher time frame low, but at the minimum, a low that would last 2 or 3 weeks or so. So that's a great setup to look for. Let's take a quick look at the daily data. Here's the daily data. And so again, when the market's in a position to have completed, in this case, a weekly low, then we want the market to tell us that it's making a reversal. That one would be that weekly close I just mentioned. We can have a little sooner signal, possibly at least, and that would be a daily close above this whole congestion period or trading range, whatever you want to call this. And that would be, let me hit the C key so we look at the closes. A close above the January 17th close at 102, spot 141, a daily close above that level would be the initial signal that that higher time frame weekly close is complete. So again, that would be a specific go long signal with a stop no further than a tick below the low made prior to that entry. So we want to, the weekly reversal signal will be a very high probability the weekly close is complete. This will just be an early warning, a close above the January 17th. So it's real important to recognize it gets near extremes for weekly reversals because they're great trade opportunities. Where's the dollar going to be 6 months from now? It's irrelevant to people that trade. Again, if you want to be a forecaster or listen to forecasters, please send me all your money because you're going to lose it all because trading has nothing to do with forecasting. I'll put it to good use. I'll put it in the Robert Minor Good Time Retirement Fund, and I'll clue you, it'll be put to better use than you throwing it all away pretending that you're a trader because you want to think that trading's about forecasting. Please don't do that. Learn to trade, learn to make trading decisions. Okay, let's take a quick look at Bitcoin. So this is the GBTC data, weekly data, and of course that's the ETF that follows Bitcoin. So whatever we see on the GBTC data, it's the same for Bitcoin itself. Let's take a look at this in this weekly data here, very important as of this week. The weekly momentums are dual look back overbought, similar to back here in August, similar to back here in April. So that's certainly warning us that a weekly high should be near. Now, we've had a big pop-up in Bitcoin the last couple of weeks, about a 25% advance in the last couple of weeks. So that looks like a big advance. However, keep in mind that we are now in a position to make a weekly high and potentially a high followed by a new low in the weeks to come. Keep in mind, never forget this, Bitcoin is just somebody's imagination. It has nothing to do with any sort of intrinsic value. So at some point in time, Bitcoin's probably going to go to zero. However, until then, it's pretty widely traded. This ETF is pretty widely traded. And because it's pure imagination, pure psychology, is that it's completely, the trends and reversals and all are really representative of some Elliott Wave corrections and impulsive trends. So, because Elliott Wave is just about mass psychology. With that in mind, we'll just look at the technicals. We're in a position to make a weekly high. Let's look at the two prior advances. It was 9 weeks, 8 weeks. This past week was week 8. Next week is week 9. And it should be the maximum before at least a weekly high is complete. This past week or 2 weeks ago was the high to high to high, put us on alert that a weekly high was near. And then again, this past week was week 8, next week is week 9, when the time factors coincide with the momentum extremes. You really want to be aware of a probable reversal. So here's the GBTC daily data, and the daily momentum made a bear reversal here a few days ago, and that's warning that the Bitcoin is near the extreme from where a daily high is likely. In this case, it should coincide with a weekly high. I'm giving you the probable maximum upside here. That's around 1298, 1365. It's 127, 162% external retracement of this last decline. I would look at that as the probable maximum upside. It's not a forecast that's going to be reached, but if Bitcoin should continue higher next week, that's about the limits on the upside, again, before a weekly high is complete. Two levels to look for in the days ahead. Number one, if Bitcoin does not continue higher, but if it turns around and closes below last Thursday's close, the weekly high should be complete. So that's our immediate reversal signal, would be a close below weekly's close. And at the other level, and this is a really important level, write this down if you have any interest in Bitcoin or GBTC, a close below the November 23rd close at 923 indicates that this advance is a correction. What follows a correction? Resumption of the trend prior to the correction to a new extreme. That would mean to well below the November low. So Bitcoin is really in a position to complete an ABC correction here next week. And so that's could be a pretty significant top. At the least, a weekly high lasting 2 or 3 weeks, if not more, followed by a correction again lasting 2 or 3 weeks and not more. And with that potential that this will be a corrective high followed by a new low. That would be a pretty serious decline in the weeks ahead. So that's gold, the dollar, and Bitcoin for the next few days. What we're looking for this coming week, be prepared, develop specific trade strategies when those reversals are made. Okay, that's it for today, my friends. Remember, subscribe to this channel. And also, check out our DT reports in the Traders News section at dynamictraders.com. Check it out. We'll keep you up to date 3 times a week for all the major financial markets. That's it for today. Remember, position size is a key to trading success. Robert Miner over and out for now. Hope to be back with you next week. Everybody take care, stay safe, stay healthy.